Well, that's that. We know that.
Okay, we went to a comedy show Sunday on Tybee Island. You should have been on the stage.
Was it Barefoot Comedy?
No, it was at the
No.
Post Theater.
Yeah, the time before with Colin Moulton.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, it used to be on that show.
really good.
I used to do that show all the time. Yeah, but
He was really.
he's really good.
The other two, not so much.
Yeah, I used to be the other two.
No.
Yeah, I used to be the guy who came on before him. Yeah, that's what I used to do. I did his show for.
Much better.
Oh, go as okay.
They were,
He
he
was
was
that-
really good.
He's good.
Yeah.
Was that at the beginning?
Yeah, I didn't. Not when I first started, but I was on that show for about 2 or 3 years, and then you got other people. I'm still friends with them. But it's,
Yes, he,
The last time-
he could have been the whole show.
yes,
The other
yes,
two,
he's really funny.
but the other two up there, and I'm like,
I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Rabbi.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
You still have to go upstairs for the bathroom.
No, you can do it. That's right.
There's one under the stairs. Shows you when the last time I was in. Don't say what.
All right, good. We're on YouTube. Ooh, I did it. I didn't have the password, so I had to go to a different YouTube account to get there. Hello, everybody. We'll start in a few minutes. So I didn't have coffee because obviously they don't have coffee in Israel, so we're trying to get you used to that.
Got it.
Okay, they have this big drink coffee nonstop.
Okay,
That's it.
got it. I don't think it's started yet,
Okay.
but you might want to go over to make it bigger. Oh, no, that's just adjusting the Zoom. I just don't think it's started yet. Okay, there you go. Okay,
Thanks.
all right. Okay. Now, if you adjust the tilt of the screen, you'll get your whole face.
Right over here.
All right.
Thanks. Yep.
Do you need me?
Thanks.
He told me the story of Bob Riley, so you didn't tell me he won.
We need to trace back and see if. The center of Georgia, we've been. I'll get the next one.
Welcome, everybody. We're gonna start going in just a few minutes. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me on Zoom and YouTube?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So we're gonna try and do this but just to let you know, if you have questions throughout the whole time, and I'm sorry I'm sitting down, this behind me was being used for the security thing they had today. It was never intended for us. But if you have trouble getting on to see this online, just let me know and I'll help you get online. We could do that, but then I'd ask me to do YouTube. I couldn't do both, the Zoom and it at the same time. It's this bell, sorry. So we have a couple more left of these. So hope everybody's doing well. You want to introduce yourself. Some people know each other, some don't, but I was going to bring name tags, but I couldn't find them. So are they right there? In there? Up right up there?
What are you pointing at?
Oh, the board,
Oh.
docents and board of agenda.
Gonna be the role play.
So we've got a bunch of people online now as well. So we'll start, since it's 6:30, we'll start exactly on time. Hard to believe. Sorry, that's here. So, no, that was the computer. Sorry, Gail. They did, but it was the computer. It could have been the doorbell as well. So welcome, everybody. We're looking forward. We're going to be going to Israel again on the 15th of May. So how many of you have had the chance to go online? If you haven't, this is the packet, but it's also online. So if you haven't anybody need the website to go on, it's professionally done. You go on the website, it gives the whole thing, but just so people would have it. So we're going to go step by step through the tour. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Also know there is some room for some adjustments. I talked to, and David's already had a couple. I've already talked to the guy. He said there are room for adjustments, but not changing the whole thing, obviously. But we can make some adjustments here. I know David wants a little bit more time in Tel Aviv. Asking about also possibly a Bedouin tet or at least a camel ride, which is feasible, but it is a little more expensive. So that would be something to add as well. So I did talk to him about that. So this is people logging in. So the date we're leaving, and for those people on Zoom, I just turned you on mute for now, but if you have anything, just raise your hand or press the thing that says hand raised. So it is a lot of fun. David went last time and we had an excellent time. So this is a tour for people who have been there, but also for people who have not been there. So it's a kind of a mix. So we will be going to some of the sites that you have seen, maybe Masada or the Dead Sea, obviously, but we'll be doing a lot of other things that you may not have done. So we'll go step by step, but I'll also add that walking, it is not a hiking tour. I mean, there is some walking, but it's not an intense amount. For those, Flo Knudsen, she went last time. And so there were 1 or 2 or 3 times where she couldn't do it. So we just got her a cab to the end destination. It was not a big deal at all. There was another gentleman who had even more trouble walking. The only thing they couldn't do was there was one tunnel they didn't feel comfortable doing. But for the most part, even doing Masada, we are not climbing up Masada. We are taking the cable car up Masada. And then you walk around Masada. It's not that big of a space. And if you feel like it's too much walking, you can just sit down for most of it. You still see Masada. The Dead Sea, we're walking from the hotel to the Dead Sea. So it's like, not very far of a walk. So for people wanting more walking, then that will be available to you for some of the free time or some of the other things. If you want to do more stuff, you can. So we're going at this time because it's going to be pretty good weather, not too hot and not too rainy. That's why they chose this time. They said this was probably the best time after Shavuos this year also, so we don't have to worry about all the holidays. It is 10 days in Israel and then 2 days for flights. So it is 12 days total. Last time we let everybody go and get their own flights. That was successful in some ways and not in others. If we hire a travel agent to do it all for us, that's going to be a lot more money. So what we're probably going to do is choose a flight and invite everybody who wants to go on that flight to go with us. And what we'll choose, and I talked to somebody, is a flight from where if we miss the flight because of a transfer or something, there's another flight to Israel later that day we can go. So will it be out of Atlanta? Probably direct, or if we'll go from Savannah to Atlanta, we'll see what the best ones are. We're not going to start looking at that yet. It's a little early, but we will soon. Or should I say, Katie will look into all that information. And when I say I made all these things, it means Katie did everything and we'll do it, all the work. So as for other things like Petra, I'm talking to Don Gore, who's the guy running it tomorrow, about adding a Petra trip at the end. Petra is a section of Jordan, which anybody seen the third Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where they walk through the mountains and there's a city carved into the mountains? That is Petra, Jordan. That is next to where it is. Obviously, a little bit more of a fee because you're probably gonna have to fly over, because I don't think the bridges are open, but that should be an option. It is spectacular. I don't know. Sometimes you go through a lot maybe and come up. Sometimes you fly. We'll see what they say they're doing tomorrow. That may be an option to go to Petra. That would be a separate fee and that would be on your own. I mean, not on your own. You would go with the tour group, but it is, if you have the time and the money, it is pretty remarkable. Hasn't anybody been there before? Okay, so it's pretty remarkable stuff. I went right when it opened up, 1995, and I know they found a lot more area there to see. So for 2 or 3 days, it's incredible. Lucia, that would probably add about 3 more days. Joan and then Margie.
I just wondered about the walking in Petra. How
Is it a mile and a half or?
The walking in Petra will be dependent upon you. So we will not ask for an intense walking one. You will be walking around, but it's a big, large area. You will not have to walk to all of them.
I think Joan is thinking about the walk into Petra and the walk back out of Petra.
Oh, the walk, I'll ask tomorrow about that. The walk into Petra.
Yeah, when we were there, you either walked or took a donkey cart, which.
Okay,
It was a per fee.
okay. So
You do the add-on for Petra, are they staying in a lot in for?
that's what I'm gonna ask. Yeah,
They could actually stay in Jordan.
that is what I'm doing tomorrow. We had to move our meetings to tomorrow, so I'd ask questions. Staying a lot that's what I'm gonna ask Petra. I talked about a Dubai one, but it didn't seem like people might want to do Dubai as well as an extra. Haifa was not on this one. We possibly might look into adding Haifa. Again, I can ask, but again, there's limits to what, but that is something we can see. We do spend, you spend a certain amount of time in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, and then we go to Masada and the Dead Sea. So that limits us to what we want in the north. Because the north you have the Galilee, the Golan, and you have to choose what you want in that area. So that there's probably some room for that. Last time we did a kibbutz, this time it's a moshav. Last time we did, we're doing a wine tasting, which was absolutely lovely. So everybody wants to do that again. I think the Jeep ride in the Golan to see the Golan itself, which is of course, but we can ask about Haifa. Yeah,
I think Haifa's fascinating.
Haifa is fascinating. It's just see if it's something that.
Go on.
It's all fascinating, it is. So that's definitely something we can ask about. Now, in the price, I'm sorry, Marge, I missed.
One thing about Haifa is the Jews and the Arabs get along better, and Jews eat in the Arab restaurants and the Arabs eat in the Jewish restaurants, and everybody seems to get along, and it affects the whole country.
That might be great. And I eat in both also, and I get sick equally in Jewish and Muslim restaurants. So now the price was $4,890 about, but again, if we make, now what we did with the hotels is we got not the super nice hotel, but the really nice hotel. If we want to save $100 or $200, we can get the less nice hotels, the lower level, but that would be up to what people want. It's not that big of a change. If we get more people coming, over 30, then I think we can get a discount as well. But I think that'll be about the end number we'll have. I think 30 is about the limit.
Is there a cap on the number?
I think it's going to be 30 or whatever fits on the bus. Yeah. We think that's too many or should not be a cap?
Definitely should be.
Yeah, they should be a cap.
Okay, yeah, but I think it was whatever was on the bus is the cap. And it's,
What time for choice?
Yeah.
Usually a bus is about 40.
30. So, but remember, you're also counting the guard, the guy leading, anybody else who's speaking to us, so last time we got about 25. So 25, we're shooting for minimally, 20 is kind of the number we definitely want.
Jericho would probably be off the,
Jericho's probably not going to be possible. Going to Jericho is a different,
yeah.
you have to go on a certain kind of bus because it's in the Palestinian territories. But if you want to do that, I can talk to them about how you can do it on your own.
Same issue for Bethlehem.
Bethlehem as well, but I can ask about going on your own. They may be able to.
Bethlehem.
They're both fascinating. The question is, at that time, it's hard for them to predict. Bethlehem is actually really close to Jerusalem, but it's in the Palestinian territories. So the question is, how hard is it to get there on May 15th, 2024? That today will probably be very difficult for them, but I'll ask them about Bethlehem and Jericho. Jericho, of course, is a very famous place. A lot of people want to go to also Hebron, but we can look in there. Bethlehem is a lot closer. I actually was in Bethlehem the day they gave it to the Palestinians. Very interesting story. It was 8, maybe 10 to 12 tourists and 250,000 Muslim Palestinians. It was really interesting. So I'll ask about Bethlehem and Jericho as additions as well. So, but I don't think that would be part of the regular trip because I don't think everybody wants to do that. It's a little, if you're not ready for that, that's a whole different type of trip. But it's really, Bethlehem's really interesting.
If we wanted to tack some time on our own before or after, can we arrange with the hotels that we just
Yes.
come in earlier?
Generally speaking, and I'll double check that if you want to, like, let's say you're staying an extra couple of days, you want to stay at the same hotel and get the same price. Last time they said yes. I believe he said yes again. Or if you get there earlier. Now, if you come back to the same hotel at a different time, I'm not sure you'll get the same thing. But I know last time a couple of us, we stayed at the hotels. So if you want to go up earlier or later and end up at the hotel, that's fine. I'd highly recommend that as well. We did it a little later. It was like, what was it, late May, early June, David? I think it was early June. This was before COVID, yeah, 2018. Right now, there are not restrictions with COVID, so hopefully that'll not change, but obviously we can't do anything about it. Yeah, we were 25, I think. It was perfect. There was definitely room for a few more. I think 30 would have been fine. But yeah, I think it went really smoothly. Again, there's some people who, walk faster or slower. That did not really make a difference because people want to go up. There's always going to be people who want to walk at the front and people want to walk at the back anyway, depending, it doesn't matter. There will be, in terms of if you can't get from one place to the other, we arrange transportation for you. If you can't do something, we'll arrange an alternative thing for you in that moment, or give you opportunity, or at the very least get you a taxi to get to the place. It happened a few times, but not that many. There was, I think, yeah.
I have friends who recently went, and my friend's husband has a significant amount of mobility issues. And the tour they went on was able to rent a scooter that folded up and went on.
I can ask about that.
And he had absolutely no trouble. In fact, people who were walking and had some, walking issues had more trouble than he had getting around.
I'm sorry, if you guys can't hear the question, they're asking about a scooter now for people in motel. I apologize. I keep thinking you guys will hear them. A scooter for mobility issues. We've had questions about Haifa, Bethlehem, about capping the number of people, about Haifa, about going to Petra. Petra, we will be looking into, and how to get into Petra and that kind of. So those are some questions. Anne has a question. And let me just put yourself off mute.
There we go. Is there a single supplement for people traveling alone?
There is, yes. If you have to pay a little, it's on the line, you have to pay a little bit more. But if you want to travel alone, we will help pair you up with somebody if you won't have a roommate.
Yeah, let's talk about going to Israel.
Okay,
What'd you say one more time, Lou?
Okay, bye.
Okay. So somebody has their hand up, but I can't see who it is. Oh, is that Marcia? Okay. Marcia, who are you under? You're under Zoom user. All right, there you go. Okay.
You had wonderful tour guides last time. They were outstanding. Are you trying to get the same? I remember that.
I'm going to ask for the same tour guide. Yes. Now, along with the tour guide, we get speakers. There's been a question about not the artist, David, and a lot of people thought it was just, we went to Sfat, which is an art place, and not having the artist speak. We had a bunch of speakers. Out of all the speakers, one of them was terrible. All the rest were excellent. And the one who was terrible was not like he just was kind of boring. Yeah. But it wasn't like a terrible person. It wasn't that interesting. And when you're exhausted, you want somebody. So we had probably 5 or 6 speakers, and 5 out of 6 were just amazing, and 1 was not. So, but the one who wasn't did not have the reputation of not being a good one. So obviously the speakers will generally be pretty good, and we're going to have IDF, Colonel, and we'll have educated people. We can ask about a wide variety of questions. If anybody has a speaker they prefer, we can ask them and see if they can get them. But generally, it's on a wide variety of topics. You do not have to go to the speakers. There are usually at times where you can go do something else. That's at night, and if people want to go, or if people want to go rest. I thought they are all. Did you go to most of the speakers, David and Marcia? I thought they were excellent. Yeah, they were really amazing. And I've been to a lot of speakers, so they were really good. But obviously, maybe they're not going to be all the best, but they usually are really good because there's a lot of connections. In Israel, as a tour guide in Israel is like getting a master's degree. You can't just be a tour guide like in Savannah, which has good tour guides there. There's a very stringent process about becoming an official tour guide to be fluent in 3 languages, including Hebrew, obviously, but also in 2 other languages. You have to know everything. You have to be retested every year. So they are extremely knowledgeable. And generally speaking, the ones that succeed are the ones that are really good and interesting and funny and know when to talk and when not to, and how to be laid back. So those are the ones who generally do well. So almost always you get a good tour guide. I am going to request the same one we had last time.
This is way off the subject, but in terms of speakers, would it be possible to get a speaker for a specific subject? For instance,
Yes.
Israel has a really nice film industry, and it'd be nice to
That's a good question.
have someone from the film industry.
That's a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll ask. That's a good sound.
Great.
So these are the good questions I didn't know to ask. That's why. Now, the bus is great.
Rabbi, we couldn't hear the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you get particular speakers? Like if you want a speaker on the film industry, can you ask for somebody like that? Do you want a speaker on politics? It's hard to choose a speaker on politics today because obviously by May 15th, 2024, the politics, unlike America where it does change, Israel, it changes very quickly because of the system. We'll definitely have a speaker though about politics and on how the system works. So we understand more why their system is even more crazy than ours, or crazier would be the, so yes, I will ask about specifics. So if anybody knows of anybody, say, I know this general I heard, or this professor, that's a very feasible to try and get somebody like that in that way. Now, the great thing about the bus is we're not on the bus very long because Israel is a tiny country. So we're only on the bus a couple hours at the most in any one moment. So, and obviously if people have to go to the restroom, we'll stop for everybody. We all have the bus completely to ourselves, and the tour guide will be with us and be willing to answer any questions as we go. But again, Israel is a very tiny country. So we're going to be in the bus a minimal amount of time compared to a lot of other tours. Like, so that makes it a lot nicer because you see more stuff. Now, as for, yeah, I'm sorry, David. So, oh yeah, that was okay, that's a good point.
We couldn't hear the question, Rabbi.
I'm probably gonna try. Let me just put this down. So David mentioned that last year we went to the Hula Bird Preserve. It was the wrong time of year, so we didn't see that many birds. So that might be something to change. Again, when you go up north, there's a couple different options. There's Tiberias, there's Haifa, there's a kibbutz here and there. There's a moshav, which we're going to do this time instead of a kibbutz. A moshav is kind of like a kibbutz. It's like a kibbutz is like all of us together in a communist setting where we all get the exact same thing. You're a teacher, you're a lawyer, you're a custodian, you're a doctor, but we all get paid the same and we get the same type of moshav is we're all living together, but we all have our jobs and we get paid like regular, but we're still like a community pot. Also kind of like in college, what are those things called? Not a dorm, but we are all working together.
The co-op.
Co-op, kind of like a co-op. So our post-college also. So that could be possible to change the hula. Now, also, if there's something you don't want to do, like we're in Tel Aviv and you want to hit the beach for longer, then hit the beach for longer and we'll let you know where we're going to be and you can pick up. It's not a big deal at all. I mean, we're all adults. There's a couple things you definitely don't want to miss, but if you've been to Yad Vashem 3 times, that's the Holocaust Remembrance Center, and you want to skip Yad Vashem, then obviously you can go to, some people wanted to go to to see the windows, the Chagall windows at the hospital. The days they wanted to go, though, they were closed, so they couldn't go. But if you haven't been to the Holocaust Yad Vashem, I would highly recommend it because obviously it's really profound. She's asking, are there designated venues? Yes, in most places, you won't have to wait in line except for something like Yad Vashem. The line is not that long. I mean, it's not, there's a lot of people there but it won't be, you'll be in lines, but you'll be reading stuff. So most of the time there's not lines for anything. I mean, this time we are going to go to the Israel Museum, which there probably won't be a line for that, but there'll be a lot of people there. The Israel Museum is something I want to go to. Last time we couldn't fit it in, and that is the major museum for Israel. That's where they have all of the major ancient pieces from thousands of years ago. That's where they have the Dead Sea Scrolls. So you can go into the shrine of the book and see the Dead Sea Scrolls. So that museum, if you're going to one museum in Israel, that's the one you go to. So, yes, Ron.
Front porch.
Yes, you will be able to go in the Holy Sepulchre. That's free for anybody who wants. Now, when we go to the rooftop, we're not climbing around the rooftop. We're going up to the rooftop and you're seeing Jerusalem from the rooftop of the old city, which is really cool. It doesn't sound cool, but once you're up there and you see it, it's pretty cool. Now, we will go on a tour of the old city, but people have a chance if they want to do something on their own in the old city. Like last time I know some people may be bringing their Christian relatives or friends. And last time I took a group to go to the Holy Church of the Holy Sepulchre, so they wanted to see that. Or if they want to see, anything else. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for you to say, listen, I want to do this. I'm going to go do this. And we just tell you where to meet us. And plus we'll all have phones. I mean, the phones are easy there.
This is probably a silly question.
No silly questions, just silly answers. That's a great point. Excuse me. That is, Genevieve asked about attire for women. Yes, in a few places, women may be expected to have like a long skirt, but we don't go to many of those places. So that might be something to bring, one skirt that you can cover your legs in one or two places. Yeah, that's not that big a deal. The arms would not be that bad. Sometimes, yeah, you might want to bring something at the wall. But when we go to the wall, though, again, we also have they have the section for the liberal Jews as well now. So we'll do that as well. Yeah, so there's a section where you can go as men and women, and then there's a section for just women. If you've been there a few years ago, the section for women has gotten like this. It's now a very tiny sliver, and the men's section got much bigger. So yes, but you'll be able to go to the wall. But then, yeah, if you want to cover yourself up, that's fine. I think it won't be a problem. But again, if you're wearing a bikini or something, obviously, but with the shoulders, you could also bring something. But that they'll send a list of things. We'll also, I believe, do the tunnel tour. So if you haven't been in Israel, the tunnel tour is really fantastic. That's where you go to the bottom of the wall and you see the actual brick from the time of Solomon, which is which of course 30 years ago was a big deal when they dug it, but now nobody cares. It's destroying everything. Now we're going to go figure out what else you're destroying. We've already gone through that one. Let's go figure out what other mess you guys are in. So we'll also go to places like that are a little more ancient. Like last time we went to Caesarea, which was a fabulous place. Everybody loved it. So we decided we'll go there again instead of maybe one, because it's a old Roman area where they have a stadium basically right on the coast. And it's really beautiful. It's on the way back, so you can go and see it. So that one we kept in. And as you can see here, it has the speakers in some cases. In other cases, it just has what we're going to be speaking about. Any other questions about anything there? PH.
Have you used J2 Ventures before?
Yes, this is who, now the people who did our last trip, that company closed, and this is the same people who did it. They just now changed the name and have their own company. This is through the Reform movement, basically. So this was the Reform movement's tourist group, and it is now theirs again. It's a different name, but it's the exact same people. So, and they did so good. So David did have another one that was a little bit cheaper, but I'd already pretty much said yes to them. So they're.
Are the hotels you're staying in on this one the same that you stayed at before?
They're the same level, but they won't be exactly the same. And I don't think they have hotels here, but the hotels we stayed at were nice. One of them a couple were terrific. A couple were pretty good, but they're not the Ritz, but they're not, there's the top level. This is the next level. So these are nice hotels, but not the nicest.
Are they Hiltons or?
I have absolutely no idea how to compare that. What's a Hilton? They're not American. I mean, I thought you were talking about the levels. They're, I mean, David and you can tell me they were pretty nice. They weren't super nice, but they were nice. Yeah. So, but they're
Each
not,
room has a private bath, right?
yeah, each room has a private bath. And some of them are a little smaller because obviously it's Israel. It's not a big country. That's a joke. Sorry, did I get that was it. People understood. Okay, sorry. So, but they were nice. They were very nice. And one or two were just beyond excellent.
Very regimented bus. So like at 8 o'clock, everyone has to be on the bus.
Yes.
It'd be like that.
It is. It's going to be, these are the times to get on the bus, but there are going to be other times where it's going to be like, be on the bus by this time, you go to this, you have to be back by this time. So other times it'll be like, we're going on a tour together. We're going to go step by step. But again, if you want to say, I don't want to go do this, I'm going to go do that. That's fine. We'll just meet us, it's Israel. You can get in a cab like that. And it's really, I mean, the good thing about Israel is it's safe. So you don't have to worry about, there's not a lot of violent crime in Israel. So it's pretty safe to just get on a taxi and then come. We can help arrange that for you. Genevieve, and then Brenda again. Yes, credit cards work. All you have to do is tell your credit card company you're going to be in Israel.
Okay. Would 3 be allowed in a room?
3 allowed in a room. I don't know. Let me ask. 3 people in one room. I may.
2 queen size. Queen and
Let me see if that is possible.
So.
I think so, but I'm not sure. Okay, so I can ask. That's a good question.
And are there places to request certain kinds of bed?
Certain kinds of bed, I can ask that as well. Maybe not. Israel's a little bit, they don't have as many changes, but they may. I'll ask.
what was that?
You mean like,
King.
oh, King versus, I thought you meant like Tempur-Pedic versus, okay. Memory foam. I want the bed where both sides, you can just the heat level. Does the jacuzzi in my personal jacuzzi go up to 108 or only stop at 106? I think that's the big question. Yes, I am.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. When do we, when's the big decision time if I'm trying to decide where to go? And also, do you have a sense, because I can't see how many people are, in the hall, but like how many are you looking?
I think we're looking at probably over 20 people. I mean, we're looking at 20 to 25. That's what we're looking at. So a good group, it may get to 30. I think we'll be cutting off at a certain number, probably around there, but that's the number we're looking at. And last time we had 25 was a good number. As I said, I think we had room. I think if we have too few, we may cancel it. Obviously, if we only have like 5 people, we probably won't do it. But what you do is you can go online. You don't register with us. You register online. And if you decide to go, you give your $500 deposit, and then you can cancel anytime up to a certain point. I think it's like 2 months. I'll go live. I forgot to check that exactly when that was.
2 months prior
to their leaving. Yeah. So now Jim.
You said that the $500 deposit, is that per person?
That's per person, and that is refundable. Let's see if here I've been trying to remember that one. How many months it was?
Marion thought it was.
It's due 90 days before is when the remainder, so you have to decide for sure 3 months before, not 2 months, sorry. And then let me see. The 500 is refundable up to a certain day, I believe. Yeah. Oh, it's non-refundable. Okay, my bad. Thanks. Where are you looking at for that? I just looked at that a second ago. Oh, there it is. That is on the last page. Okay. Okay. If you get insurance, it is. That's maybe what it is. I'll have to check. I'm sorry. I thought it was refundable. That's my mistake. Where does it say non-refundable? I thought I saw, it told me it was.
Right here.
Okay,
Slash.
okay. Positive is non-refundable. So so make sure you're serious about it before you do. So thanks sorry, that was my mistake.
For those of us,
Oh, Anne, I'm sorry, Anne was finishing and I'll go to Gail. Anne?
I just have a question about if you arrange the flights together, would there be, I mean, can you say, well, you want to be in which different level of service? And also, can you use your Sky Miles or how?
Yes. If we get the flight, you'll be responsible for getting yourself, like I may say this is the flight we're going on, but as to how much it costs, that'll be dependent upon you. If you go on business class, it's going to be more. If you buy it earlier than later, it's going to probably be less. But we're just going to try to get on the same flight so we get off at the same time. That is what the idea is. But we're not all going to be getting there at the same time because different people may go earlier, different have flights. So that's the difference. So we're going to go to Gail, Joan, and Jeff.
On the group dinners, does everybody get the same meal, or if those of us who are, let's say, lactose intolerant, can we mention that?
Yes, for the group meals, for the most part, I know this, firsthand, that there's a lot of leeway. Remember, Israel is also a milk and meat place, so it's very easy for them to tell you what's not dairy. So, food issues, not just me. All right, perfect.
Vegan and.
Yeah, they're pretty good about that nowadays. And plus, if you go like for breakfast, usually it's a giant spread. Like you choose, it's a big spread, lots of vegetables, cereals, yogurts, fruits, all kinds of stuff. It's kind of mixed between American and Israeli. And then lunches and dinners are usually at restaurants, and usually you can order yourself. But yeah, I know I had no problems. Besides if I didn't like something. I mean, that's, what can you do? So Joan, and then Jeff, and then Ron.
Passport now, and it has to be done by mail and could take up to 6 months.
I would renew I just renewed my passport a few months ago. It took 6 weeks. My wife took 5 weeks. So I don't know. So I would do it. Now, what we did, in case you guys want to know, if you live in Savannah or here in Georgia, I went to the post office to do it, and they said, no, don't do it here. Go to the courthouse. We went to the courthouse. The lady took my form, corrected all my mistakes. They took the photograph for me there because I had done it incorrectly, and I got it. And then I had my wife do it, and we both got it in 5 to 6 weeks. That's what we did. I can't guarantee it, but that's what they say on the thing. It's up to 8 weeks or 10 weeks, whatever. I would definitely renew it now. I mean, you got a year. So if you renew it now, it shouldn't be a problem, but you also can pay like $60 and they will send it to you faster. Jeff, and then Ron. And Jeff, you're on mute.
Hi there. I just did a quick search online just so people know, and the airfare runs anywhere between $1,500 and $1,900.
Yeah, and that's usually about constant, $1,500, $1,900, unless you're doing business class or getting it very late. So, but yeah, so that's, they say on average, I think $1,660 is what he says. So what we'll do is we'll look at the best way to go. It may be going out of Atlanta. It may be going out of Jacksonville, but those, we're going to see what the best possibility is for people who want to go together. So we're going to try and get a together option, but that's not going to be required. We will still pick you up from the airport whenever you get in, unless you come like
Rabbi,
Ron. Wait 1 second. We got Ron, and then David, and then who was just here on now,
Kathy.
and then Kathy.
Okay.
Right. Right. And definitely, you should make sure you have trip and health insurance. Now, the good thing about Israel is, God forbid something happens, you won't have to get, if I'm in Cuba, I get the air flight out because I'm not having surgery in Cuba, but in Israel, God forbid something happens, they have a very good medical system. But for certain things that you can wait, you'll still probably want to come back here, but always get health insurance and trip insurance. And you can get, there's a wide array of ways to get those. And if you have any questions, we'll find some different ones. But it's really important. But you definitely should have the health insurance because you don't want to get stuck having to pay for major surgery in Israel, and the health insurance will cover it. David, and then Kathy.
My question is, if we don't fly, we go to the route, I'm just able to figure fly miles.
Oh yeah, just do that. That's so much better. Yeah.
What? Do what?
1 second.
There's somebody that walk us through.
Right. That's what.
When we fly, when we get that.
Yeah, exactly. So David said he wanted to use frequent flyer. No matter when, unless you're coming like really late or 3 days later or something, they're gonna have somebody there to pick you up at the airport and walk you through. So it'll be a lot easier to get through security and all that jazz. So if we go as a group, obviously we'll all come out, but individuals will have the same thing. I will probably stay there at the airport. Last time I went, just spent the whole day at the airport helping people get in, and so they will have somebody help you get through security, and then also take you to the airport unless you're going like, you know, if you're staying for on your own, then you might have to do on your own. I think it was Margie next.
No, Kathy.
Kathy next. I apologize.
Well, basically, I just wanted to mention, it may be a little too far from Savannah, but living in Statesboro, a lot of times when I go overseas, I go drive to Macon, and they have grooms travel, and you leave your car there free, and then they bus you right to the international airport.
Really?
And so it's just something you may want to look into, because I do it a lot, even flying in the States.
Oh, you can do that here?
Yeah.
I can also do it in Savannah too. Okay.
No, you can't do it in Savannah. I'm saying.
You rent a hotel one night, leave your car in the parking lot, and the shuttle takes you.
Oh, Michael says if you rent a hotel here one night, you can do it from Savannah. So that's in Macon, or rent or shuttle an airport here, shuttle Savannah to. Now, and I don't know if
It
we're
just
going to
saves
Atlanta.
that fare from
Yeah.
Savannah to Atlanta, and
Right.
also you don't have to worry about a connection in case
Right, and that's all it is.
Savannah is bad.
And for all we know, the best way is to get through New York. We may find like a perfect flight out of New York. That's we haven't looked through, but I do know they have a direct flight to Atlanta today. Will they have that May 15th next year? I don't know. But that's a good point. So that might be a great thing if that everybody can just meet in Atlanta and get on the plane. If we do direct from Atlanta, then we don't have to worry about, you know, missing our connections. Margie.
I see that it's daily breakfast, but just one lunch and 6 dinners are included. Do you, when you're on your own, sort of, do you all go to the same restaurant, or are you on your own to figure out where you're gonna eat, or do you just
Right.
pay for it yourself, but everybody does the same thing?
Yeah, when you're on your own, there's always options. They'll mostly give you options. So mostly people will go together unless you really want to go do something. So, you know, so a lot of people will get together and go to a restaurant together. But it is just the idea to let people have the freedom to go and find some stuff. For me, I just like, I'm going to get myself a shawarma. You know, I love those things. But yeah, that'll be up to you guys completely. So that's separate. But again, some people just are on the go and they just want to go. And some people want to stop for a 2-hour meal. And that's why those options are given. Good question, Joan.
Is it a good idea to have a lot of local currency, or do they take credit cards most places even?
They take credit cards almost everywhere in Israel. Everywhere. It's nice I think it's great. You can go this whole trip without any local currency for the most part. You can just use American dollars or credit card. However, it's kind of nice to use local currency sometimes just so you can see how to use it. But basically, the dollar goes really far in the world. Unless you're probably in like an Arab market somewhere, they'll still take dollars. They may not give you the right, you know, the change they'll give you isn't going to be shekels. But yeah, dollars are, you probably can go the whole trip. I know there's people went the whole trip last time without getting any shekels. I hear it.
What do you do about tipping? Are all the tips included?
That's a great point. Now, we could talk about that. The tips for like the waiters and stuff, that's we just do, like if you're doing your own meal. But like for the 2 big tips we'll be doing are for the, we want to get a tip to the bus driver and the tour guide. So that'll be up to us to do together. we can decide ahead of time if we want to give a certain amount, or we can wait and do it at the end, depending if we think they're good. So that is a little bit extra expense, but it's not a lot. If there's 20 people, we're talking, $50 to $100, or more to give a significant tip. Okay. Okay. No, good. Sorry.
Okay. I have a quick question. Do you have a favorite airline?
I don't have a favorite airline, but I think we're going to see which one is the easiest. I fly on all airlines. If somebody, obviously El Al is the Israel one. So that's always a choice. It's usually a bit more expensive, goes out, but I think we're going to see what is the least expensive with the best option. Again, we're late on this flight. Is there another flight later that day, or do we have to wait 3 days to get the next flight? So that'll be one of the questions, is we want to make sure. But if some people may be better travelers than me and have better airlines. I mean, I use them all. American, United. Oh, no, not to go to Israel. No, I've used a variety of them. Yeah, obviously. Now, if you use a European one, you have to stop in Europe. So that might be something you want to do. For those of you who don't know, free stopovers are still allowed. So let's say you want to go to Israel and you fly Air France. Air France, I think, is legally they have to stop in Paris on the way to Israel. I believe that's still the rule. But you can say, well, I'm going on Monday to Paris, and then I'm going to stay in Paris for 3 days and get the flight to Israel on Thursday, and there's no cost. I mean, you have to pay for the hotel. That still you can do most of the time. We just did that when we went on our honeymoon. We stopped in Hong Kong on the way to New Zealand. It's the same exact price. So just to let you know, not everybody realizes free stopover. So if you want to go on your own and stop in England or Europe, my wife and I were going to go when we were going to sabbatical. We were going to stop probably in Turkey. So that would be something to really look into depending on the time. That you would book it as a no, you would not. You would just book it as 2 single trips. I can try to do it, but online you can do it, or you can just go and call the people on the phone. It's not for everyone. When we went to New Zealand, I said, okay, which ones we could stop in Hong Kong. We could stop in, I think there's like 3 or 4 places, and Hong Kong's what we decided. But it's a great opportunity to get a free stopover someplace if you have time. But especially if you're going to Europe, because Europe is so easy and safe. But I will not be doing that, because then, of course, my wife will divorce me and then I'll be miserable. So I am the tour guide with them. So I'm their whole time. So you have a professional tour guide who knows all the stuff, and me who will question everything and make jokes. Yeah. But I'm pretty knowledgeable. I'm not as knowledgeable as these guys, but I'm still pretty knowledgeable. But yeah, they're much more so than me.
So, help us find Indiana Jones. Right?
We will find Indiana Jones if we go to Petra.
Okay.
Yes, Petra is. I'm not going to go to Petra. I'm getting
I want the crystal skull. I don't care about
the crystal skull. Yes, I want to go to space. They want to look for Harrison Ford. Obviously, he is going to be in a movie coming out in 2 weeks, just in case you're wondering.
Indiana Jones and Nursing Home of Doom.
Nursing Home of Doom. Michael said Indiana Jones and the Nursing Home of Doom is the next one. But they have the thing where they can, make him look younger now. I think that's what they do. They put a fake Indiana Jones and put his face on the guy. That's what they're going to do. I think that's what they do. Yeah, huh?
I think that's why SAG is about to strike though.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right. I'm staying out of that. All I know is this building will be used this week for a Clint Eastwood movie. So yeah, they're going to use our room. It's just for one day to store stuff. So I don't think Clint Eastwood is coming into our building, but we'll see. So, huh?
You mean holding or storage?
I have no idea what this is used for. It's being used maybe for people to come in and hang out, I think, holding. I don't know. You're the movie person. You guys are the movie people. Any other questions? And again, if you think of something that you think we could add or someplace you really want to go, there's a book called Lonely Planet Israel. I recommend that for everybody. Last time I got copies for everybody. Happy to do it again. It's a guidebook, so you can have your own. It has a little thing about everything. It's a wonderful guidebook. The ones I have before, not the updated ones, but I'll get those. And that's really nice because you can kind of do your own thing. And again, like I said, it's great because they're going to be showing us everything, but there are times where we'll be on our own and times to do our own thing. So it'll be a mixture. Some people want their entire time to just do their own thing. That's not this trip. This trip is, we're going to see as much as we can within this amount of time with making people excited and exhausted, but not overly exhausted. And for the most part, last time, except for a couple of things, everything went really smoothly. There was one thing at HEC that wasn't that great. And then there was one speaker who wasn't that great. And then one or two things, but for the most part, everything went really smoothly. Yeah. Yeah, they're used to working with Jews. Yeah, when they say this, oh, it's a Christian group. Yes. Don't have to have 17 different meals. My cousin won't be coming, my mom won't find out. So the Galilee Hotel, no, last time we stayed at Kibbutz, which is excellent. But this time they chose this Galilee Hotel, which I do not know. But again, I don't know the hotels that well. Oh, is it a kibbutz? Where was it at? Was it the kibbutz one? I thought they picked something different. What page was that on? It is. No, there's two there. It should be right here. Let's see. Where's the hotel? I forgot where it is. Anyway, well, if we're at the oh yeah, Kfar Bloom. No, we're Kfar Galati. That's a different place. Yeah, last time we were Kfar Bloom. This time we're Kfar Galati. But there's two theories about going to Israel. One is you get to Israel, you go straight to Jerusalem and do that first. They've decided we'll do it last. Either one is fine. It just depends what you like. Kind of ends on the big Jerusalem. Jerusalem is, where the old city and and all that stuff. But it's just I think 3. Yeah. What is what? Yeah.
What does that mean?
It should be the second highest level.
Yeah.
3 stars instead of 4 stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oy Vejmer. That could have been it. But I think we're in Jerusalem 3 days, right? Yeah, we're in there day 9, 10, and 11, I think. Well, Jerusalem is definitely a place 8, 9, 10, 11, but one of those days we go to the Dead Sea. And we won't be doing much in Jerusalem because by the time we get back, we'll be exhausted from the Dead Sea. Yeah, but it's one day we go to the Dead Sea. So we're at Masada and Dead Sea the whole day. So, and last time we went to a synagogue that was in a suburb of Jerusalem. This time we're just going to do something a little simpler and just do like a service together. So that gives us a little more time in Jerusalem. David, did you like the thing about the service? It was all in Hebrew because even though it's a Reformed service, they speak Hebrew.
If you go to Harel, it's probably in English.
Yeah, Harel is, but the one we went to last time wasn't. Yeah, last time we decided to go to one in the suburbs to see what it was like.
Wouldn't it be more interesting to go to?
We can change that.
To go to a Reform.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, what we're doing.
And see how they handle it.
So what we're doing is. Oh, no, wait, I'm thinking, we're going to services Kilat Mevatseret. Oh, maybe maybe led by. Oh, it is a home hospitality dinner. No, it is the same thing. I got confused again. We are doing the home hospitality again with Alona. I got to check on that. I thought we were not doing that. Okay. I can ask about doing Harel or there's the other Reform one as well, which is we're thinking about where to go for services Friday night. Yeah, Harel, and there's the other one, which is Kol HaNeshama. Let's see if either, I'll see if those are available. Brenda. Huh? Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Friday night is I got confused, is going to services and then going to somebody's house, like 8 people in one house, and then you just talk with them. But it's the talking's in English, the services in Hebrew. It was really nice. I thought we were going to do it. And Mickve Sarah is where we went last time. I'll see about if we can get maybe doing Kol Nishma or El. That might be possible. David. You could.
It is a small country.
Luggage will be completely up to you. The good thing about luggage is you bring as much as you want because it's on the bus. You don't have to carry luggage. You don't have to take the luggage from. Yeah, for the shop, yes. You can bring in a whole extra suitcase there and bring stuff home. Although I did get, one year they lost my suitcase with all the stuff I had bought. And about 10 years later, I got a check for $1,000. All of a sudden, I got a check 10 years later for $1,000. I'm like, what's this for? It's pretty funny. Yeah, I guess that's why they sent me $1,000. I don't know. But yeah, there's restrictions on what you can take, but that'll be up to the flight, and you can pay extra for more. Or in Julie's case, David will be taking one handbag apparently, and she gets to take 4 things of luggage. So no, there's very few things, obviously, just the usual, you can't take anything they tell you, don't bring your gun, don't bring your knives, but it's the usual. You can bring dirt from Israel. No agricultural stuff, obviously, but if you're bringing bananas on the plane, nobody cares. Yeah. Any questions here? Can you guys, Lou? Sorry, Lou.
I'm looking online, Spirit of, I think that was supposed to be pioneering on Tuesday, the 21st. So there's like 1, 2, 4 things, 5 things. Do you pick those, or do you pick what you want to do, or do you do all of those? That's a lot in one day.
That's all of them, but some of them are really very short. Like stop at Mount Scopus. We're going to stop there, say a prayer and say, wow, this is beautiful, and then go on. Okay. So basically we're doing the hula like in the morning, then we'll do the nonprofit organization and the moshav. So we're doing basically 3 things that day.
Okay.
But remember, it's not a lot of driving. They're not that far from each other.
I'm not worried about that. So like the next day, if you don't want to go to the Cardo, I've been there before.
Yeah, you can just skip that. Just walk
something else.
Yeah, just walk around yourself, or we can ask them if they have some ideas. Yeah. If you've been to the Cardo before and you want to go, just Jerusalem. I mean, if you've been to Jerusalem, there's tons of things you haven't seen because unless you've lived there. Michael.
I've got this curiosity. 40 years ago was the last time I was there, and like on 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock on Friday, everything stopped.
Right. Michael's asking, does everything stop? It does. If you're in Jerusalem, so what you see if you go to day 10, you see that's Friday. So we're going to go to Yad Vashem in the morning, and then the afternoon. Jerusalem is much more religious than Tel Aviv, obviously. So Jerusalem will start to close down. So what you have the opportunity to do is probably go to the market. They will close, but you'll probably have time after Yad Vashem to go to the market because they'll probably close about 2 o'clock. And you can go shopping and see what else is going on, or walk around Jerusalem for a couple hours and see kind of things quiet down, but still see the sights. It's really kind of cool. David. Yes, exactly. The Arab Christian quarters are still open on Friday night. So if you want to go down there yourself, because we'll have home hospitality come back, and you may be kind of late to do stuff. But on Shabbat, remember, we will be doing stuff. So on Shabbat, we're going to go to the stuff in Jerusalem that is open. So we're going to go to the Israel Museum and go to Capitol Hill and drive around and see all this stuff. Saturday we're using as the driving tour to go all around Jerusalem. Because we're not Shomer Shop. So So Friday is, if you look on day 11, it's like driving around and just saying, look, there's Parliament, there's the menorah, there's the Supreme Court, and then we'll go to the Israel Museum where they have all of the treasures. You know, they've got the Dead Sea Scrolls, they've got all the statues and all the historical trinkets from, 800 BCE, going back that far. The Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia, so we're not going there. Sorry.
So here on day 10, where it talks about Kabbalah Shabbat purposes, is
That I believe is, which was great, but I thought we were going somewhere else that I just misunderstood. I'm going to double check that. Anything else? I'll see if there are other options for that. Mhm. I don't believe Israel requires proof of COVID, but I would still have it anyway. Just they may still. I'll have to double check. And again, that changes. So who knows if they're going to need it May 15th. I mean, they were very strict for a long time, but nobody's strict anymore. They're asking about COVID. I don't think there's any restrictions right now. They may require you to have your vaccination, but beside that, I don't think there's any checking or anything. But it's also, what was great also about the last time is when we wanted to make a change, they were fine with it. You said, listen, we don't want to do this. We're going to do this. They're like, okay, let's do this instead. If it was possible, they did it without any, and if we had food issues, they were very good about giving us, talking, does this have this and this? And obviously we have a guy who's Hebrew fluent, so he can ask about the specific ingredients. COVID. Yeah, because Israel didn't have any tourism for about 2 years and they just decided not to do it anymore. And then once it opened up again, they probably got together and said, we're going to restart it. So yeah, because they were going strong right up to when we went, and we went the year before COVID. All right, fantastic. Any other questions, please let me know, because again, I'm going to bring all these questions up with Dawn tomorrow. And Margie?
Even though it says in here, since it's kind of misleading about getting your deposit back, if you could ask them.
Okay.
If you get the deposit back within a certain length of time.
Right, I'll ask him. It says it does it, but I'll see if it's really early on. That was my bad. Yeah, it is definitely says you don't.
Oh, I do. Then if you do the deposit and then this is probably done. Another thing, but if you do the deposit and then you don't get enough people and then they cancel, you get your deposit.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Because if it's non-refundable, but you cancel, that's.
Right.
Okay.
They cancel it.
I doubt only 5 people are gonna sign up, but in case.
Yeah, I hope more will. Mona.
Could you please get some clarification? I'm confused here when they say protect your investment with the 495 insurance.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's group insurance.
Yeah, you can get it.
Yet they're having a whole bunch of cancellation things on top. And to get that insurance, does those cancellation restrictions apply? It's a little confusing.
Yeah, basically cancellation fees don't count insurance at all. So that what they say at top, if you cancel 90 days beforehand, you get your money back except for the deposit. But if you're going to get the insurance, then you'll probably get it all back. I mean, then you can cancel your trip a lot later on. Like if you get the trip insurance, which will happen with any insurance, you pay the extra money. That means the day, whatever it says. That's where I got confused. 5 days before you find out you can't go, you're going to get your money back. Whereas if you didn't get the insurance, you won't. That's what they're saying.
So that's different.
That's an extra
than
amount.
Health insurance.
Right,
or
exactly.
life Insurance, this is just for their trip, right?
I believe so, yeah.
We really need to know the terms and conditions.
Yeah, we need to look, we need to go look on it exactly. So I think you just we can look up on J2 Adventures and see what that insurance is for. It may be excellent, it may be terrible. I imagine it's pretty good, but you may have, I know I like to get my insurance from another place. I've been getting it for always from the same place. So that's where I get mine. So you may like getting it there better.
So confused.
It's $500. Mhm. Or the 495 is how much it costs for the insurance.
Yeah.
So that's an additional fee.
Yeah.
But again, there's an assumption everybody's going to get insurance somewhere. So obviously that's not their company. That's the company they use for insurance. So if you look on there, you want to get insurance, you can get it from here, but I would look and see and call and see exactly what they get. And I'll call and also and see. I don't remember which insurance we used last time.
I don't see where it says when the payment is due after the deposit.
Up to right here, if you go to this right here, it says we're on page. It says, where it has to be done. It has to be done for 90 days. I believe, is that what it is? If you go where cancellation fees.
I'm not talking about that.
Oh, if you,
When
the payments, it's due 90 days before the trip. It's the same time as the cancellation. So right here on this page, if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, it says payments. It's 90 days.
Oh. Balance, okay, thank you.
So it's your payments are due 90 days before. That's also when you can cancel it. So I mean, but again, I think that's pretty standard. It may be standard. I mean, I don't know, but it sounds pretty standard.
Reservation would be 500 per person.
Yeah. But that counts against obviously against your, so it is expensive, but I know it's a little bit more than the one David, but there's going to be subtle differences that make it, that different. But it's, everything, I don't think it's an unreasonable amount compared to what you're getting. So otherwise we would have probably not said yes. Everything is a little bit more expensive than we went in 2019, not that much more, but the world is more expensive. Yeah. So, and the flights are not that much more expensive either, a little bit more.
And our entrance fees are covered. I think I read that. Is that true? The entrance fees into different exhibits.
Oh, yeah.
Museum.
All the museum, anything that's on the list is covered. Yeah.
Is there any idea what Petro would cost?
I'll get that tomorrow. I'm thinking $1,000 maybe. That would be.
Email the answers.
Yeah, I'll email. Yeah. If you sign your name here, I'll send it out to you, David.
I did ask about that. I said, people be like 1,800, 2,000 a person.
Oh, 2,000 a person.
Two people, a group.
Okay. Okay. So everybody who's online, also, would you just email me in case, so I know to make sure to put you on the list. Okay, I think I got most people. Okay, but again, it's a fabulous trip. It is, if you've done it before, it's always great because Israel has changed. I know you haven't been in a while, and somebody else telling me Ron hasn't been there in 40 years. It's a different country from 40 years ago. I can tell you that. The building they've done, and also the politics. Right now, we see how terrible the politics are. It'll be terrible on May 15th, but probably in a completely different way. It'll be very, but they'll also discuss the politics and how they're different. And I'm happy to have another meeting to go over all these things. Happy to have a prep meeting as well, so people get to know each other, go over kind of the subtle differences. But remember, everybody's going to speak English, except for a few people, maybe in the Arab markets. English is the language. So everybody is nice, but they're much more direct. But very supportive, and they're used to having tourists, so everything is geared towards the tourists, so it'll be pretty easy. And most of the questions they'll had before. And the food is really delicious. And whether you get your own or get the breakfast or these incredible things. Yeah. Do we have 2 hours to eat a meal? We do not have probably 2 hours to eat every meal. Somebody asked if we had 2 hours to eat a meal. I think there was a veiled reference to a spouse.
Okay.
So we will not probably have two, unless we're all eating, two, so, all right, so excellent. If you have any other questions, I'm gonna ask these questions of Don tomorrow. And if you have any other questions of me, let me know. And again, if you want to sign up online. If you have trouble with that, just let me know and I'll get you there. Good to see you, Justin, by the way. David, good to see you. Haven't seen you guys in a while. Steven, I saw the note, but just when I got back now, so I'll give you a call about lunch. Lou, awesome.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you, Rabbi.
Nancy, good to see your name. Let me put you right down.
Thank you.
I think I have everybody's email, so if you just put your name and down, then I'll get the email list out. See you guys later. Steve, you look good.